On the 10th of January 2026, I was at a family gathering with some friends. We were having a good time. Everything was okay. And we have eaten and we're getting ready to get in a dance floor when something very strange happened to me. Really strange. I was struggling to breathe. The sensation was bizarre. It was as if there was not enough oxygen in the room. On the other hand, it was as if my lungs simply didn't have enough space, enough room for oxygen. All I wanted was leaving the premises to find some oxygen outside. So I did. And one of my friends actually said, "Why don't you wear some lighter clothes?" So then and there, I borrowed some. I wore them. Man, this is the middle of winter in England, and my body didn't care. I just needed to be outside, even with hardly any clothes on. My question is, has something like this ever happened to you? Have you ever struggled to breathe out of nowhere, not knowing what is going on? I really want to hear your story. Please write in the comment section. This might perhaps help another struggling woman or a couple understand what is going on with her body and maybe save a relationship. Who knows? Going back now to the story, I couldn't put my finger on what was wrong. Really, I couldn't, because I'm someone I'm careful. What I eat, what I drink, I'm careful about those. And I exercise, I do my fasting every week. For years been doing this. But going back, I do remember a year ago having the similar pattern where I was at a party and I couldn't breathe all of a sudden after eating, and I was in the dance floor. They nearly called an ambulance then. Anyway, to cut the long story short, on the 11th of January, so the day before the incident, I bumped into two words, air hunger, and I researched it just to find that air hunger or shortness of breath can be the result of perimenopause. Whoa! I was blown away. What is going on? Perimenopause, air hunger. Anyway, hello, I'm 54, I'm Tina. I'm currently going through the unpredictable wave of perimenopause, as you can see, and actually wrote a book about this, Expert Guide to Menopause and Marriage, in order to help couples going through these critical times with more confidence. And today, you may have guessed, I want to share with you something I've discovered. I investigated the concept of air hunger, also called dyspnea or shortness of breath during menopause. Okay, and importantly, what lesson we can draw from it. But first thing first, everything that I'm going to share here, please, this is for information and educational purposes only. If you have any difficulty, any health problems, the first thing to do is go to your medical doctor, because I'm not one. Having said that, I have found quite interesting research linked to air hunger. And these two that I'm going to mention in a few minutes are really interesting. The first one is from the Journal of Menopausal Medicine. It's titled Decline in Pulmonary Function Tests After Menopause. My French always come across when I'm talking here. I hope I'm saying it right. The purpose of the study was to evaluate the pulmonary function tests postmenopausal women. And the result? A significant decline in many pulmonary parameters were observed. Okay, that was observed in perimenopausal women. And one conclusion that they had as well is that menopause can be associated to lung issue. The article goes on to say, and I quote, that postmenopausal women not only experience physical effect of aging, but physiological aspects like lung function that are impacted, and the cause being ovarian hormones. So what this translates to is that during menopause, the key ovarian hormones that we know, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, yes, we do have testosterone as well, drop in level. And if we go through the full article and the online menopause center, they all say that estrogen is the big culprit here, because its level reduction affects several body parts, including our lungs. And it's only normal when you think about it, because nearly all body parts have an estrogen receptor. So indeed, estrogen influences the elasticity of lung tissue and air responsiveness. So its reduction can lead to decreased lung capacity, more sensitive airways, and impair gas exchange, making breathing feel difficult. And this is what I experienced on the 10th. So the question is, how can we minimize the impact of poor estrogen in our lungs and decrease the frequency of air hunger? How can we minimize that impact? Luckily, there are several things that we can do. And one of them is exercise. It's really important. So partners, please help your wife exercise, or you can exercise together. It's very motivating, so you can strengthen your respiratory muscles. Maybe aerobic exercise can help. And then the second thing is talk to your doctor. So you might want to see your doctor for two things. Maybe to have some support with HRT or hormone replacement therapy. When I look at the paper, one of the paper, I can't remember which one, they said about 20% of women in perimenopause experience air hunger. I've never heard it before now, which is really interesting. So it's important to see, this is the first thing I should have said before the actual exercise, talking about exercises. Should have said, go to your medical doctor first to eliminate any other causes of air hunger, so that you're absolutely sure the air hunger you suffer from is linked to perimenopause. Breath work is really important. It's something that I do regularly. Breathing in depth is really, really important. And you can find so many videos online, ranging from 1 minute to 1 hour and more. Another thing I'm thinking about is adopting an anti-inflammatory diet. It's important. Love your fruits, your veg, your grains, but make sure that you're having organic ones as well, because sometimes in our market and supermarket, you can have all sorts. So do your due diligence. Oh yes, something I don't want to forget is that if you can associate to your anti-inflammatory diet, your good diet, you can associate some kind of intermittent fasting. That would do you a good, tremendous amount of good. Because when I think back at what happened to me a couple of times, is because in some way I've neglected one of the things that I'm mentioning now. Either my breath work helped. Okay, my breath work helped me in so many aspects of my menopause. When that happened, I didn't know what air hunger was in the first place, but I realized that I wasn't doing my breath work as frequently as I used to doing it. So it's something that I'm going to invest myself a little bit more on. So breath work, definitely try that. You have so many videos online. And coming back to exercise as well, you don't have to do heavy exercise. What is recommended here is aerobic exercise, of course. However, you can just walk. I regularly do the Japanese type of walking, where you go out, you walk fast for 3 minutes, and then you stop for 3 minutes. You do 3 minutes and 3 minutes over 30 minutes or an hour. By the time you finish that, you feel so good. I do that at least twice a week. When I'm running, I'm not doing dancing or not doing anything else. The last thing that I want to talk about here is stop smoking at all costs. Remember at the beginning, I mentioned 2 articles that I found. I'm going to show you now what the second one says. Okay, this article here. Here's the article. It's titled, Early Natural Menopause is Associated with Poor Lung Health and Increased Mortality Among Female Smokers. This is their main finding. In a cohort of middle-aged and older postmenopausal female smokers, we found that early natural menopause was associated with worse lung health, accelerated lung aging, for example, incident airway obstructions, and high all-cause of respiratory mortality. Females with early natural menopause who continue smoking had a dramatically increased risk. And the key word here is dramatically increased risk. Think about it. Estrogen is a powerful antioxidant. We know that. So not having enough of it means that your body is more open to inflammation. I should actually say chronic inflammation, because inflammation is normal, but chronic inflammation is bad. It's exposed to chronic inflammation more than ever. Therefore, your body will thank you if you make all the effort that you can to actually help it. Help the body out. Do what you can best to keep healthy. Husband, wives, ladies and gents, it is a real shame. Yes, it is a real shame that we don't have enough public fundings, enough public money invested in better understanding menopause, better understanding how it works, how it affects women, how it affects our body, our relationship, and more importantly, society as a whole. Having said that, let's do the most that we can with what we have. Let's always support each other despite the odds.